Welcome back to part 2 of this video, of this Westinghouse Westinghouse motor that I just acquired today. In this video, we're just going to have a closer look at it. Of course, I'm going to get the thing. We're going to take it apart. We're going to have a look at the inside. I'm pretty sure that everything is okay electrically. If it states that it works, then I'll take it up on that. These are the leads that go to it. There's only 2 leads, so this is only going to be a single speed. And all the switches that I have around here, I'm pretty sure are going to degrade to where they're going to function, to where they're going to pull enough power through the motor. I'm going to get everything hooked up, and everything's gonna work right. It's not going to turn into a big freak show. And I'm going to get it all cleaned up, and I've already decided that it's going to be going on this fan over here, so that's what I'm going to be testing it on. And so yep, and I just need to find I'll find a couple of bolts that I can put on the motor here to where it'll go into the motor brace there. It only has two bolts. So let's have a closer look at this thing. Let's go ahead and get this thing pulled apart. Okay, so before I get this thing pulled apart, I am going to clean the front shaft with some 3-in-1 oil here. Not for lubrication, but just to clean the grime and the dirt and whatnot off, to where it's gonna slide off and it's not gonna damage the bearing. This trick I had seen of others from other videos. So I've got my stash of hardware here, as well as my tools. So I'm ready to get started on this. So here we go. Okay, so now I have the motor disassembled here. Everything is looking pretty good for this motor. Everything is still very well insulated. The varnish is still very well put together. Doesn't seem like anything is loose on the stator at all. Nice and shiny. However, a part of the tape there is a little deteriorated, but I think that I can fix that, no problem. There's the leads right there where they come out. Doesn't seem like the wires are not frayed or cracked or anything. Here is a look at the bearings, and just like the other Westinghouse motor, they have these little fiber washers in there, and that's definitely going to get a good cleaning. I'm just going to clean these out, and I'm going to put some 3-in-1 oil in there. Here's a look at the rotor shaft. Shaft looks pretty good. There is a little bit of, well, there's really not a lot of catching or anything. It does appear to be a little smooth. I don't know the history about this thing, but it doesn't seem like it suffered any abuse or neglect or anything, so I think this motor is in pretty good shape so far. I think it's pretty good for use. And these are the fiber washers, and it even has a, if you can see it, it even has a felt washer on there too, to absorb the oil. So I know that's going to work really well with this one. I'm gonna take and put some bolts and screws on this to where it's going to mount on the fan properly. And so let me go ahead and get this thing cleaned up here and get it lubricated. Luckily I won't have to do anything with the stator here, and it looks to be pretty clean, so I won't have to do anything with that one. Looks like this thing was very well taken care of throughout its lifetime. So I'm going to go ahead and get these things cleaned up and pump them full of oil and get it put back together, and we can do the test run. Okay, so this is what I have done. This is the progress that I have made. I cleaned out both of the bearings very thoroughly, and as you can see, they were pretty dirty, and there was some, looked like there was some oil that showed up there. So that just goes to show you that this thing was properly cared for. Cleaned off the shaft really good, cleaned the shims and whatnot, and I have that lubricated too. Really didn't have to do anything to the shaft. The stator. So I guess the last thing that I need to do now is to put some bolts on the back shell here, get this thing put back together, and we can finally do the test run. Okay, so since the other motor is not going to be used for much of anything now, change of plans, I just took the lens off of the motor here and I put them on here, and I was able to fit them on there successfully. Other than that, the motor has been cleaned and serviced and ready to go. So now we can go ahead and get this thing mounted on here, and hopefully the moment of truth and not wrecking. So one last thing I forgot to mention throughout the process of the clean and service. Two of the shims there that go, I guess those are to keep the dirt and whatnot from getting into the bearing, were brittle, and they kind of broke off as I was cleaning off the shaft. It's a good thing they did, because I know that I can really go without these. They have functioned just as well without them. So those are the original lens that went to this one. So I'm going to go ahead and get this thing mounted on here and give it a test run.